Good morning. I'm reading from Mark chapter 9 and verse 33 this morning. He says, he came to Capernaum, and being in the house, he asked them, what was it that ye disputed among yourselves by the way? The disciples were fussing and fighting amongst themselves as they traveled along. But they held their peace, for by the way they had disputed among themselves who should be the greatest. It cracks me up. Just arguing about who's the greatest amongst the 12, who's going to be greatest in the kingdom. Isn't it amazing? The attitude that human beings have trying to assert themselves, trying to be number one, and trying to determine who that is. He goes on and he says, he sat down and he called the 12, and he said unto them, if any man desire to be first, the same shall be last of all, and servant of all. There is no doubt that throughout the scriptures, God values servanthood and humility. And he says, if you want to be first, take the last place. If you want to be great, be the servant. Serve other people. Oh, they had a hard time learning this lesson. Look at our world. Just look around. Look at the lengths that people will go to try to assert themselves, to try to toot their own horn, to sound their own accomplishments and achievements. Look at the ends men and women will go to try to be the greatest, to try to be the best, to try to be out front, to try to be on top, to try to be the leader. Jesus says, look, if you want to be great, you got to go get in line last. Go take the lowest spot and go serve other people. To illustrate that, it says he took a child and he set him in the midst of them. Now, in their culture, children were not esteemed as the kind of company that an important person would want to really have around them. And so children were supposed to stay out of the adults' way. They were supposed to speak when spoken to be seen and not heard. And as they grew, well, then they could grow in esteem. Now, I'm not saying that's a godly value. That's just the way things were in their day. And it says, and when he had taken him in his arms, he said unto them. So this is something that we also see Jesus do throughout his ministry. Let the little children come to me. He valued children. He spent time with them. And just like this, in this situation, he takes up this little child and he says, whosoever shall receive one of such children in my name receiveth me. What an illustration, because what he's saying is he's saying, for you guys that are fussing about who's the most important, you've basically kicked this little child to the side because he can't take part in this discussion. And Jesus is saying, I'm going to take him, I'm going to put him center stage, and I'm going to say that when you receive the least esteemed among men, that's when you receive me. And whosoever shall receive me receiveth not me, but him that sent me. This is the Father's will. This is the will of Jesus, for us to take the lowest spot, to be a servant to all, and to esteem people that everybody else doesn't necessarily esteem. Being a servant is not hard on anything except the ego. The ego doesn't want to be the servant. The ego wants to be served. Your old flesh, that part of you that wants to be the best, that wants to be on top, that wants for people to know your name, that wants for people to think that you're important, that wants for people to follow your lead. Well, that thing's got to die. And like I say, it's not hard to be a servant on anything except the old flesh. Let me encourage you today. You want to be great in the kingdom? Humble yourself and be a servant. That's what Jesus did. Let's follow him. God bless. Have a great day.